Supplement information on the night tube tester. Alright, for this supplement we're going to be taking a closer look at these tube testers. This is the original night tube tester. It was produced catalog years 1955 and 1956. And I think you can see that it's a basic tester. It's a nice tester. I mean, it was, at that time it was a good tester, I guess. Shown here, you only have a choice of 14 position filament settings. In other words, you only test 14 different, it only has 14 different settings for the filament voltages. And that was, I guess that was the way it was laid out when it started out, but it did change. You can see on the basic things, like I say, you have the night logos in bold letters, block type letters, and I guess that's all right. The initial tube socket complement is 4 tubes on the left and 4 tubes on the right. As noted there, that one that is pointed to with the blank cover is just that. There was a, I'm not really sure if they did that for aesthetic purposes to make it look, more even or what, but there's basically nothing there. It's just a blank cover to cover up the hole there. So, and lastly, what we're going to look at here is the catalog numbers. For the counter model, it is 83FX143, and for the portable model, it is 83FX142. Now, that was the only years that they used those numbers. They went to a fairly standard numbering system later on, so we'll see that next. Alright, now we come out with the 1957 model. Now, this is only 1 year model, 1 catalog year, and that's when I say these 1 years and whatever. That's what I'm talking about, is 1 year it appeared in the catalog. So probably was available closer to 2 years because of the way the catalogs ran. But anyway, there's your basic look at that. You see they have changed this is basically a facelift. They have changed the night logo, gone with the big black block letters, and there's more professional looking night tube tester on the bottom there. Again, the filament has not changed as of yet, still 14 positions, and that won't be changed until the next year. Like I say, the tube layout complement is the same. You have basically 8 sockets and 1 blank. And once again, they have, after the initial tester, this is a little slightly different number. Instead of a FX, it's YX. 83YX143 for the counter model and 83YX142 for the portable model. So those 2 numbers would remain the same until I think 1962. So let's move on. Alright, now this is the model I have. This one was produced between 1958 and 1960 catalog years. And again, like I said, each time it's the basic facelift, faceplate is the same, meter is the same, all that stuff pretty much the same. Now, the big change is, in 1958, the new 16 position filament switch. And again, you see the night logo there is unchanged, and everything else remains pretty much the same. And the change there with the filament switch will remain the same throughout the rest of the series history. In other words, there's no other changes to this filament switch or transformer involved in all. This is the same one that's used in the latest night tube tester as well. So, all right, again, the sockets. Looking at those have unchanged. Those are still unchanged. You have 4 on the left, 4 on the right, with 1 blank. Catalog numbers for the counter model is 83YX143. That hasn't changed. Portable model is 83YX142. Again, that hasn't changed as well. So now this, like I say, this tester here remained the same throughout 1960, and with the addition or with the introduction of the 1961 catalog, we came out with this model. And for the first time, they are now calling it the Model 600. There is no letter designation, nothing, just the Model 600. And it was produced only 1 year, and it's just a facelift. There was absolutely no electrical changes done to this from the 58 model. Has the same tube layout, 4 on the right, 4 on the left, and 1 blank. It is like I said, it is a complete facelift, including knobs, meter face, and a logo. I don't know if you guys noticed the other meter face has instead of for the gas test, it wasn't filled in. It wasn't green and red like that. It was just the lettering was green and red, and that was all there is to that. So they did go to this particular meter. I think remained through the rest of the series, if I'm not mistaken. They may have updated it slightly, but this general layout for it is what was always done for the rest of the time, I think. Again, the counter model is 83YX143. Portable model is 83YX142. Again, that hasn't changed. So this is the Model 600. Bill, this is the one you have. Like I said, it should look just exactly like this. I'm sorry about the picture quality here is a little dark, but I think you can see it okay. And the important thing is to notice the tubes. There's no new Vista socket here and things like that. This is how you can tell the 600 from the 600A. There is no tube socket here, and these tube sockets over here haven't changed either. So that's all you need to know. Now, starting in 1962 and running for 2 years, is the Model 600A, and as you can see here, it is a little bit different. It's basically the same layout. The graphics haven't changed that much on it, and they look pretty much the same. As I don't know if I noted it or not, but there's no indication anywhere on here that this is a 600A or a 600. It just says Night Tube Tester down at the bottom, and that's all it says. Now, here's the big news in 1962 is the addition of the 3 new tube sockets. You have the new Vista on the left, and I think it's what they call Compactron, 12 pin and 10 pin. I can't remember exactly what they were, but those are the 2 or 3 additional new tubes that come along with it. And of course, along with the new tubes, you're going to have new tube chart data, and in fact, for this year, they have completely changed the testing procedure and updated the tube data charts. Now, this is a lot of people are confused by this, but this is the year they came out. The engineers decided to revamp the testing procedure, put a new roll charts in, and with the changes into all the tubes that were done prior. And if you have an older tester, it doesn't matter, all the way back to 1955, you can use this procedure. That's obviously the 1955 tester's not going to have the same unless you updated the filament transformer and the stuff like that. It's not going to have quite the same capabilities, but it still can be used the same way because it's electronically the same. Now, again, this is the first year of the catalog numbers changed quite a bit. The counter model is now 83YX635. Portable model is now catalog 83YX636. So that marks a change from the previous years on the catalog numbers. Now, the next one we're going to look at is the 1964 change. And this change lasts from 1964 through 1969 catalog years. This is the KG600B, as you can see there in the illustration. Yes, there is. It's very dramatically changed as far as the appearance is concerned, but there really hasn't been that much change other than the appearance. You have the tube sockets are all the same as they were with the 600A. No new additions, no nothing. It's all that's the same. Naturally, the tube roll chart is going to be changed because there's additional tubes now that can be checked with it because there's additional tubes that have come out. Now this marks the first time in the history of the Knight tube tester that the model number is actually present on the faceplate, or anywhere, as a matter of fact, on the tester itself. But you can see down there it is listed as KG600B tube tester, and so that's a pretty neat, significant thing because everybody was kind of confused between all the other ones that in this series because there's no model numbers on them. And we can see here the catalog model number, or the counter model catalog number is 83YX951D. Portable model is catalog number 83YX920D. So those are your changes made in the different things there. The reason I want to point all this out is because it makes it easier. Obviously, with the 600B and the 600C, you can tell because it's listed on the front. But the other ones are hard to tell, and unless you know the difference, you can't really tell the difference. This is the last one that's made by a Knight. This was the 600 KG600C, and this was produced in 1970. And I don't know, I didn't really check the catalogs after that. It may have been produced in 71 as well. But this was about the time that Allied merged with Radio Shack, or Radio Shack bought Allied, or whatever, and they completely went in a different direction, I believe. So this does have, this is our last update on the tube sockets. We have two new tube sockets on the left, and one on the left and one on the right. And that, like I said, rounds out our complements of tubes. There is one additional thing here that I wanted to point out, and I'm not really sure what that is, but you can see it there in the picture. I don't know if that's a tube socket or a tester for like transistors or what, but there appears to be something else there, and I don't have a 600C, so I don't know. If anybody's got a 600C, let me know what that actually is, and I'd appreciate it. I can maybe update my information then. As you can see, though, this is last year in the series for this tube tester, and you can see the meter has not changed a bit since, I think, 1962 is when they went to this meter. So, but again, this is the obviously the tube data charts are going to be changed for the different tubes that there's been a lot of tube changes between 1964 and 1970. Not as many as there probably would have if we stayed with tubes, but there were some new ones being produced. Obviously, with the new addition of the new sockets, there were more types out there. So I think the number was 2,500 that could be tested with this tester at this point. So it's a pretty good, significant thing. The only one that is available this year is the portable model, and the catalog number is 22A3212X. And so that is going to wrap that up. Like I said, that was the changes, physical changes that you can tell what kind of tester you have and what model it is and things like that. Mainly by the tube sockets and the faceplate, things like that. Now, this last thing I want to show you is the updated testing procedure, which came out in 1962. You can see here in front of you, this is the whole thing, and I'll leave it up on the screen a while, but this is how you're supposed to check your tubes with your Knight tube tester, and this doesn't matter if it's a 600C, it doesn't matter if it's just one of the 1955 models or whatever. This is the procedure you are supposed to use. they decided in whatever it was, 1962, that this update was necessary because of I'm not really sure why, but they figured that this was a better procedure to use, more accurate and quicker, and just better laid out, I guess, is what it was. But you can see there, like I say, that's the test you're supposed to use. Everybody that's got one of these testers that I've been talking about the last however many minutes have been. But I'm hoping this information, it helps you guys see what, like I said, so you can tell what one you've got. I know, like I said, the people that have the 600B or 600C know what they have because their model number is listed. But people with 600As, 600s, and the ones before that came out, because, like I said, the one that was produced in 1958 is exactly the same as the one that was produced in 1961, the Model 600. There's absolutely no difference in the two electrically. So, why wouldn't and why couldn't you use the same testing procedures for both? And when the 600A came out, it said right there on the catalog listing, I think I pointed that out when I did the original of this, that Knight wanted people to use this new testing procedure with the older testers. So again, that covers all the way back to 1955, especially if you have a 55 model with the upgraded filament transformer. It's electrically identical to the KG600C. There's just no difference in it. Obviously the difference is going to be the tube sockets. It doesn't have the same tube sockets, but everything else is the same. So like I said, this Knight made this tester a little more confusing than they needed to, but I'm sure they wanted to sell new testers. That's what they're in business to do. So when they came out with a new model, I'm sure they weren't too keen on saying, "Hey, you can keep your old 1955 tester." It's the same thing. But they just wanted everybody to upgrade. I guess they were fairly reasonable. They did say, like I said, they pointed out the fact that you could take get a new updated roll chart for your Model 600, and we know by default that includes the one in 58 as well, because it's exactly the same tester. So I think that's going to do me. You guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you